And we're back. Oh, so soon. Welcome, everybody. I bet notifications did not go out. I need you guys to do me a favor. Please hit the like button, yo. Like, we were live, and then while we were live, I guess this news broke. So that is absolutely fine. But we have a response with the request of the Epstein grand jury transcripts. We live now. Quick. Come on. Now, welcome everybody. Welcome. Oh my, y'all know, like I have to hurry up and go. I got baby Bunny that's feeling a little bit, she's doing a little bit better, but she's like feeling under the weather. So she's a little grouchy. So these are not very, very long lives, just so everybody's aware. But let me let the Discord folks, the beautiful, wonderful members know that we live. We live now. Get in here. Hurry up. Get in here. Let's go. You're late if you're just going. Go now. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Oh my goodness. Okay, everybody. All right, everybody's in here. Please hit the like button, please, and thank you. Thank you. Shout out to everybody that supported the channel today. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Okay, let's get it together, guys. So the judge, we have some updates, some news. So the judge that received the request. Now, let me see. The judge overseeing the DOJ Epstein grand jury records request asked for more information. The judge said he would rule on the motion expeditiously. The federal judge now overseeing the Justice Department request to unseal grand jury records from Jeffrey Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell criminal case, said in a new order Tuesday that he plans to rule expeditiously on the matter, but requires more information so that he can do so. Now, guess what, y'all? We have those documents right now ready for everybody to review. Welcome, everybody. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Now, hold up, my friends. See, where did those documents go? It might be on my other window. Is it this one? Yes, it is. Here it is. Here we go. Let me make myself smaller. It's not that long. We're going to do a really quick read on it. So again, this was filed today. This is a response. It's only 4 pages. And the judge is Paul A. Engelmeyer. Engelmeyer, I think that's his name. District judge. And he wrote like basically an opinion order piece. And again, I'm not a lawyer, so I'm just kind of winging it. The court has received a 4-page motion entitled United States Motion to Unseal Grand Jury Transcripts, which was filed with the clerk's office of this district on July 18, 2023. Okay. See docket 785, government's motion. The motion asks that the court unseal the underlying grand jury transcripts in this matter, subject to appropriate redactions of victim-related and other personal identifying information. The court intends to resolve this motion expeditiously. Basically, he'll do it yesterday if he sounds like he needs something from everybody. The court intends to resolve this motion expeditiously. However, the court cannot rule on the motion without additional submissions, specifically a memoranda of law. And I saw BJ break this down. Shout out to BJ because, you know, she got that lawyer training. Make sure you guys check this out. Memoranda of law, Federal Rule of Criminal Procedure 6E, confide the practice older than our nation's itself, that proceeding before a grand jury shall generally remain secret. In repetition of Craig, and so they're citing some cases, Rule 6E3 lists exceptions to the rule of secrecy, but these are not invoked by government's motions. So they have to list, sounds like they are missing the exceptions to the rule of secrecy, but these are not invoked by the government's motion. Sounds like the government needs to put in a little bit more work into their request. That's what I'm hearing, okay? In addition, the Second Circuit has recognized that there are certain special circumstances in which release of grand jury records is appropriate based upon a court's supervisory authority over grand juries it impels. it impanels. And so they're citing a case. The discretion of a trial court is deciding whether to make public the ordinarily secret proceedings of a grand jury investigation is one of the broadest and the most sensitive exercise of careful judgment that a trial judge can make. The Second Circuit has identified the following as non-exhaustive lists of factors for district courts to weigh in considering applications for disclosure. The identifying the identity of a party seeking disclosure, whether the defendant to the grand jury proceeding or government opposes the disclosure, why disclosure is being sought in a particular case, what specific information is being sought for disclosure, how long the grand jury proceedings took place, the current status of the principals of the grand jury proceedings and that of their families, the extent to which the desired material, either permissible or impermissible, has been previously made public, whether witnesses to the grand jury proceedings who might be affected by disclosure are still alive, and whether there is an additional need for maintaining secrecy in a particular case in question. Okay. So again, the Second Circuit has identified the following as non-exhaustive lists of factors for district courts to weigh in considering application. These are the things that the judge has to consider when determining whether he's going to release any grand jury, high level secrecy information. And that's what he has to do, right? Like he has to weigh this stuff in. Okay. All right, so let's keep going. There's a footnote. The Seventh Circuit is in accord that a district court may order the release of grand jury material upon showing of special circumstances. Okay, other circuits have taken a narrow view of a court's authorities in order to such relief. Okay. The government's motion does not adequately address these factors. So they're missing stuff in the 4-page motion. And it was pretty brief. Maybe kind of to the point. Maybe that's how Pam and the attorney wrote it, as far as how they wanted to handle this. But the judge is saying that you guys are kind of missing a couple things here. The government's motion does not adequately address these factors. The court accordingly directs the government to file a memoranda of law, okay, no later than Tuesday, July 29th. So that would be, let's see, what are we looking at? Calendar. When is Tuesday? The 29th? That would be a week from today. Okay. So a week from today, no later than Tuesday, July 29th, 2024, addressing with specificity these and any other factors that the government views as germane to this application. The memorandum of law is not to be no more than 25 pages. There's like instructions. Judge said it can't be more than 25 pages, double space. What you want? Roman numerals 12 too? I mean, you got to write it. You got to write it. In light of grand jury secrecy and victim related issues and other personal identifying information and concerns, the government is authorized to file on the public record a redacted version, and the file under seal the memorandum is unredacted form. The court also directs the government to state in the memorandum whether, before filing the instant motion, counsel for the government review the Maxwell grand jury transcripts, and whether the government provided notice to the victims of the motion to unseal. So the government has to notify the victims that things are going to get unsealed, okay, which I think that would be, of course, best practice. Let them know that information is going to be redacted. There's that, okay? And further, they just have to give notice. Following the court's ruling on the motion, the court will invite the government's input as to whether and to what extent the redactions in its memorandum remain warranted. Grand jury transcripts, the judge for the rights. The court has not received the grand jury transcripts that the government seeks to unseal. Ooh, look at this. The court has not received the grand jury transcripts that the government seeks to unseal. The court directs the government to submit to the court under seal the following material no later than Tuesday, July 29th, 2025. 1. An index of Maxwell grand jury transcript material, including a brief summary, the number of pages and dates, a complete set of Maxwell grand jury transcripts. Number 3, a complete proposed redacted set of Maxwell grand jury transcripts, grand jury transcripts, the transcripts in that form that the government proposes to release them, and 4, a description of any Maxwell grand jury material included but not limited to the exhibits. So the court hasn't reviewed any of the grand jury transcripts. So the court is asking the government to basically submit them no later than July 29th, in addition to the legal memorandum, right? Writing that brief summary, 25 pages, double space, and possibly Roman numerals 12, font 12. Okay. I'm just thinking in my mind. Submission from Maxwell. The court has not received a letter by or on behalf of defendant Maxwell setting out her position via the proposed disclosure. I didn't know Maxwell had to have a position for this disclosure. She's the convicted person out of this case. She has to have a position. Interesting. Like, I had no idea. So they got to contact, I understood the victims, right? Like giving notification to the victims, but they also have to have notification from Maxwell. Okay. And then any such letter is due Tuesday, August 5th. It says that the court has not received a letter on or on behalf of defendant Maxwell setting out her position, proposed disclosure. Any such letter is due Tuesday, August 5th, 2025. Now, let me ask you guys a question in the chat. Would that then compromise her little meeting with the DOJ? Or, like, depending on where she lands with this, because that's that negotiation piece. You want me to give a statement now DOJ, that you've been dodging me, dodgy DOJ. Now you want to meet with me. I do wonder about this. Submission from victims. The government may not have notified the victims, and the court has not received any letters on behalf of the victims setting out positions to propose disclosure. Any such letters are due on or before Tuesday, August 5th, 2025. So order. So this is signed by the judge. So Maxwell can write letters, at least her position. It's due August 5th. And the victims, we are not going to see these files if they are redacted, or jury transcripts, for a very, very, very long time. That's what it looks like. I mean, so they're wanting Maxwell's input, and then they're going to want the victim's input, right? Okay. And then let me share with you guys another piece of information too. Excuse me. Hold up. Because I got too many windows open, guys. My windows are all over open. Is this it? What is this? House panel, this is July 22nd. House panel approves motion to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell. A subcommittee has approved a motion directing Oversight Chair James Comer to issue a subpoena for Ghislaine Maxwell testimony regarding an alleged Jeffrey Epstein client list. Wow. This is today. Today. Hold up. Let me see if I could play this.
Best deal ever is back. Any hand-tossed, pan, thin crust, or New York-style pizza with any toppings for just $9.99 online. Last time you got
sausage, bacon,
chicken.
They're talking about pizza. That looks really good, but let's move on. Hurry up, because I got to go.
This motion to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell was approved in a subcommittee of the House Oversight Committee. It was brought forward by Tim Burchett, and it got the Republicans on that panel's support. And so now it advances to Chairman James Comer, who's the chair of the overall House Oversight Committee. It tries to force Comer to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell, but ultimately it looks like the decision will still rest with James Comer as to whether or not he wants to go along with this motion that was approved in, again, that subcommittee of his broader House Oversight Committee.
Wow.
What comes as Jeffrey Epstein from beyond the grave is really tying up the processes of the House of Representatives here. The House Rules Committee, which is a crucial final stop on legislation before it heads to the House floor, had to cancel their meeting last night, and they're not going to meet for the rest of the week because Republicans on that panel didn't want to have to take tough votes that Democrats were bringing forward on an Epstein-related amendment that would release the DOJ records on this case and on Jeffrey Epstein in general, because that would be a difficult vote for Republicans on that panel. They would either have to vote against the president's wishes, who's made it clear he wants Republicans to move on from this, or they would have to go along with that support that they're getting from their base, or that push rather they're getting from their base, because there's a number in the GOP base who have said, they want things done on this more quickly. I've also spoken with some Republicans who have said, look, they're not going to forget about this and they're not going to move on. Thomas Massie has said he's going to continue to work with Democrats and a handful of Republicans on legislation that would force the release of Epstein-related records that the Department of Justice has. The earliest that he could probably force that vote to release those records would be after Congress goes out on recess in August. I asked him, is the president at risk of losing support with his base over this issue? And he said he believes that the president is eroding support with his base because he has been signaling he wants both the base and GOP lawmakers to move on from this Epstein.
Eroding. Hold up. CC, Bunny Gang, we shall see what happens. I know. So 2 pieces. For those that are coming up, we got 2 pieces of breaking news. The judge overseeing this little situation with the grand jury transcripts basically is willing to rule this expeditiously, but they need a memoranda of law, which includes certain levels of information. And then they also have to notify the victims and they have to notify Ghislaine, okay? And then the other part of the breaking news is a House panel approves motion to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell. Listen, Ghislaine's got the wheels going, y'all. I'm just going to say that. I mean, literally for what happened last week, what did they say? Oh my God. I'm sorry. There's more breaking news. Ozzy Osbourne, heavy metal music legend, dead at 76. Anyways, I'm going to do another video here on this. I'm about to go live on that here in a minute. But this is breaking news. We have a judge that just did a motion, and it sounds like the House panel has approved motion to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell. Okay, I'm going to end this live. We're doing another live. Keep an eye out right now. Let's go.